Not everyone likes to engage in constant social activity. Some people prefer to be alone, and that's absolutely okay. Studies show that there are several reasons why people prefer being alone to being around others. Each such person has unique characteristics that make them special. If you don't feel comfortable in the company of extroverts and can't connect with them, for example at parties, where some people effortlessly attract the interest of others, it could be because you can't connect with them. Not everyone is comfortable being the center of attention or being in a large group. Some people prefer more intimate conversations or closer relationships, and they don't find those with everyone. If you're someone who prefers to avoid larger company and instead indulge your own thoughts, it could be that you're more of an introvert. In a society that promotes sociability and outward appearances, especially on social media, it's not easy to be an introvert. Introverts are often pigeonholed and misunderstood by others, so it can be difficult for them to embrace their nature as something positive. Sometimes they feel that they are classified as odd or abnormal. Society often has the expectation that people, as social beings, like to be around other people a lot. For those who don't enjoy it, it can be confusing at first for themselves and also for those around them. But you don't have to worry about it. We have good news for you. You are by no means alone in your preference, and it is not strange either, even though social contacts and relationships are generally enriching. There are also many beautiful health benefits to someone being alone and taking time for themselves. In today's video, you'll learn about 11 unique personality traits of people who like to be alone. If you like our videos, support us with a thumbs up, subscribe, activate the little bell, and look forward to the videos we upload for you every day. Number 1, they have a special emotional strength. Because they are so sensitive to their own feelings, they are also better able to categorize and deal with them. Being able to understand your feelings and channel them in positive ways is a special personal strength. Number 2, they have natural empathy. People who are good at being alone with their thoughts and feelings are often also more empathetic in their dealings with other people because their special sensitivity enables them to perceive other people's feelings, even those that are beneath the surface. Number 3, they have moral strength. Another advantage of people who like to be alone is that they are better at assessing what is right and wrong for them. Because they take a lot of time to think through different perspectives and reflect on their ideas, their moral compass is better developed than it is among people who depend more on other people's opinions. This makes it easier for them to make and be satisfied with the decisions they make, knowing that they have made them based upon their inner convictions. Number 4, they are unbiased. Contrary to some people's belief that introverts are more narrow-minded and less open to others' opinions, the opposite is more likely true. In fact, introverts who value being alone are often especially open to new experiences and different perspectives. The fact that they like to be alone in no way means that they are therefore oblivious to the world around them. They just have a different way of looking at things that is more in line with their own personality. Number 5, they don't depend on the approval of others. The modern world is very much characterized by self-promotion, the internet, and social media, which makes some people overly dependent on the approval of others, and some people will do anything to get approval and acclaim. How popular and accepted someone is often equated with determining how successful a person is in life. Research shows that those who like to be alone are less dependent on the approval of others because they do a lot of self-examination and have developed their own ideas and standards. As a result, they make their self-esteem less dependent on the approval of the outside world. Number 6, they can admit their own weaknesses. Introverts have less trouble admitting their own flaws and weaknesses and accepting that they are not perfect. Because they are good at putting up with themselves, they have learned to accept themselves as they are. Being able to admit mistakes and weaknesses is an important step on the path to personal growth. Number 7, they value the company of intellectuals. Because they are good at being alone and don't rely on having other people around all the time, introverts are more selective about whom they spend their time with. For this reason, they are also less interested in small talk and superficial conversations, and usually prefer to spend their time with other intellectual people and in mentally stimulating conversations. Number 8, their time is precious. For people who like to spend their time alone, time is especially precious. Because they prefer to be alone, they can gauge the true value of time, which tends to be lost in the company of other people. However, they see not only their own time as precious, but also that of those around them. Number 9, they have a strong intuition. People who can enjoy being alone are more in touch with their feelings and intuition. Because they spend a lot of time consciously with themselves, it is easier for them to perceive things and trust their intuition. Number 10, they are very loyal. People who are more selective about their friendships are all the more loyal to their friends and know the special value of friendships. Precisely because they have a more select circle of friends, they see these friends as especially valuable. Number 11, they are independent. Introverts have a good sense of when to ask others for help and when they would rather rely on themselves. As a result, they are good at distinguishing between being in touch with others and being dependent. Because they perceive the world in their own way, they are more independent of other people's judgments and can make more conscious choices about when they want to be around others. Today's conclusion: people who like to be alone have many positive qualities that make them special personalities. So it's not weird at all if you like being alone. It makes you more independent and less dependent on the acceptance of other people, which is a big advantage in a world that is very focused on external appearances and acclaim. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.